never a right time. Take yourself out of situations that are not valuing you. Just jump in and run with it and know that you can make it happen, rain or shine.
In years of running my business, I didn't ever have a business mentor or somebody to offload to. I've learned during mentorship, and the mentorship's been so powerful for me. Not just for me in terms of my business, but in terms of the people that I surround myself with now. People that I speak to on a daily basis are good, uplifting people.
This week's interview is a very special treat for you. I interviewed the incredible Shelley Otway Wood, who is the principal of Stepping Out Stars of Tomorrow. Now, Shelley has become a phenomenal and incredible friend of mine, but she started with us. I didn't know Shelley about 2.5 years ago now. And she started with us as a client in our Gold One-to-One mentorship program, and then moved on to become one of our incredible industry experts of our performing arts department at Gold Medal Business, and supports many amazing clients just like yourselves listening to really support their business on a day-to-day basis in the performing arts world. Buckle up, you're going to have a phenomenal ride with us today in listening to Shelley's story, and she shares the ins, the outs, the ups and downs of being from a performer from a young age into the West End, and then building her business to the stage that she has today, and having all the incredible success of building a business for 15 years now. So she's going to share with you the ups and the downs and everything in between. Enjoy.
So today's episode is a very special one today. So we have the amazing Shelley on, aka Shellerina, and I'm just going to tell, obviously you've heard about in the intro before listening today about Shelley's background and story, but I'm just going to do a bit of an intro for Shelley on a bit of a personal level as well. So Shelley started working with Gold Medal in our Gold program, doing our one-to-one mentorship around 2.5 years ago, and as often happens, working very closely together, we had a lot in common, has also become a great friend of mine. And we actually know a lot of the same people, which is amazing when you bring two worlds together. And through obviously all Shelley's experience from being in business for the last 15 years, running her performing arts school, to then coming into Gold Medal as a mentee. And absolutely, I'm sure if you've been following Gold Medal for a while, you would have absolutely seen Shelley's incredible results that she has achieved through our Gold Medal mentorships, and was no better person to fit the position of our performing arts expert within Gold Medal. So if you are watching this, watching and listening to the podcast, and you are a performing arts expert in your field, in terms of whether you've been running your business for a year, 6 months, or many, many years, and you're looking to grow your business to the next level, and you come into Gold Medal, you would be working directly with Shelley, because I said she is our resident in-house as our performing arts expert. So yeah, we're gonna try and keep this under 50 minutes, this one, because there's gonna be a lot, because Shelley's got a lot of wealth of experience to share with you, as well as going through personal bits which will also support you and you may relate to as well. So Shellerina, welcome.
I know 50 minutes, that's never going to be enough for us.
I can't call you Shelley. I just can't call you Shelley at all. Yeah, and as I often say and I've said this in other podcasts we've done, it's so strange but lovely when you've worked together on Zoom for so many months and then you see each other in person. It's like you've met many times before. It's a weird feeling, isn't it?
Yeah,
like, I remember the first time we met
before, like today, obviously.
Of course, yeah, no, but I'm talking the first
time we met. It was like, oh my God, you're a real person.
Or sometimes people say to me, "You're smaller than I thought." You're smaller because I just see you behind a computer.
Yeah.
So Shelley, let's dive straight in. So obviously, Shelley is, you've got a phenomenal performing arts background. Start from the beginning. And try to keep it short, because this
you might have to tell me to stop.
Start from the beginning of how you got into performing arts, and go through like some of your top gigs that you then were achieved, because they're pretty impressive.
So I started where my next door neighbour's little girl was doing ballet and was dancing in the garden, and she was showing me this ballet step that she was doing, which was actually a changement. Those performing arts. And she said, "Oh, I'm going to this dancing school up the road," and it was like it wasn't like an amazing dancing school with, with bespoke mirrors. It
Doesn't
was
need
like,
to be,
no,
yeah.
it was in a little village hall.
Bit smelly, bit dirty.
Yeah, and but the dance teacher was amazing,
Yeah.
and obviously saw something in me quite
Yeah.
early on.
Yeah.
And I went along with my friend.
Don't know what she saw.
No, God knows.
Because she's very excited, very energetic.
She needs a bit calming down, this one. And went along, and I don't know. It's funny. I just put on that pair of ballet shoes that day, and I remember going home to my mum and saying, "This is what I want to do. I want to be a ballerina."
Yeah, yeah.
And like every other child of that age,
like, right,
that's what everybody wants to do, isn't
week.
it? And then literally 6 weeks later, and I'd only been dancing for 6 weeks, there was an audition in the local paper for a ballet company called the Lewis London Ballet Company, who were looking for children to be in the Nutcracker that Christmas. And I remember going along, and all of these dance mums were there, were like spraying lacquer, and all these girls with these matching leotards and looking amazing. I rocked up. I like laddered my tights on the way. My bun wasn't straight because my mum had never done a bun before.
Yeah.
I was just like some random kid. I probably looked like something from Annie, arriving. And I went in and I got picked amazingly. Like, I don't know how. So I ended up doing this ballet, working for this ballet company over the Christmas holidays, which was just amazing, and I loved it. And really, from then on, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And I was quite late starting. So usually as a dancer, kids start maybe 4 or 5, but I was actually 8, nearly 9 when I started. So flexibility is something that I've always struggled with in all the shows that I've done. And joint turnout and hip problems and knee problems, just because I think I put my body through so much stress as a child to get to where all the other people were in my class, and then obviously did loads and loads of dancing things. And then when I was 13, there was an audition for Annie in our local youth theatre. So I went up and got the part of Annie, and came out, and I said to my mum, "I've got Annie." And she was like, "Yeah, I know, that's what I've taken you for." And I went, "No, Mum, I'm actually playing the part of Annie." And she was like, "Yeah, ha, ha, ha." And I went, No, Mum, I really am. So she was just like, "Oh, wow." And I remember my mum selling 60 tickets for the show. She was like, Shelley's Annie, bless her. She's so proud. And then I just went on and did loads of stuff with that youth theatre. I did The Wind in the Willows. We opened that at the Barbican. We did loads of shows, Matchmakers, the Match Girls, Guys and Dolls, Oliver, which was a show that came back again and again in my career much later on. But Oliver was actually my first musical that I did when I was like kind of 9, and then went right through, did lots of dancing outside. My dance teacher I owe a lot to.
I just want to say, please, sir.
Can I have some more?
Please, sir.
No, stick to the gymnastics, Katie.
That's not my realm, Put a decent dance together, but that's about it.
No, where did I get to? Oliver. Yes, I did Oliver, and then went right through to going to drama school. So actually, weirdly enough, I auditioned for a dance college at 16, and they actually said to me, "We don't think you're going to go down the dance route." I was heartbroken. We don't think your flexibility in your legs we think it's really going to hold you back, because your joints are not natural dancers' joints. I've actually got quite tight hamstrings, quite tight joints. Had to really work on that. But we think your singing and acting is really, really strong, and we think you should go down that route. And I was like, "No, I want to be a dancer. Like, I've wanted to do this all my life." I was so upset. And they told me these places that I should audition. And this lady said to me, which was probably the best advice that anyone's ever given me, was go and audition at Guildford School of Acting, which, as many of you know that are listening that are performing arts people will know, it's, probably the best, if not one of the best musical theatre drama schools in the country. So went along, and they offered me a place in my interview, and I came out, and there was loads of other people there, and they were like, "Oh, why have you been kept in there?
Yeah,
'Cause it's
yeah.
very bitchy, as you can
Okay, yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, they've just offered me a place and they've offered me a scholarship.
Oh my gosh.
So it was a bit
I
mad.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So and my mum and dad couldn't afford to send me.
Yeah.
I was one of three. You know, my brother was into football. My sister was in performing arts and still is. My mum and dad had no performing arts background, and we're like, what do we do with these two hyperactive, crazy kids?
Yeah.
So and then went to drama school. Didn't have a great time at drama school. Was was always a little bit the underdog, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Was never the one that was always picked to be the lead, or if somebody outside came in, I always got picked. But it was very, very cliquey. And
It's interesting you say that, Shell, because in chatting to Emily Little, we were talking about this, of her experience at drama school and with Katie, actually, with Katie Hilker, of, you know, good, it can be such an intense world. You can sometimes come out of drama school having the best time of your life, and any performing arts college, but sometimes you could be like, wow,
yeah,
that weren't for me, because it's all or nothing. It's so intense. You hit the wrong people, or the teachers don't like you for any reason. It's such that kind of industry. Anything can happen, you know.
Yeah, I remember in our final year, I hadn't really been cast in that much, and we were doing Into the Woods. I got cast as Cinderella, which was quite a nice part, but I should have played Little Red Riding Hood, who was a bit mad. But I ended up playing the kind of, because I've got quite a high soprano voice, I ended up playing Cinderella. And Disney were auditioning for The Magic Sword, which was a years old Disney. That's how old I am. A years old Disney film, and they
She's
were
90.
I mean, I'll be here still with my wheelchair, wheeling me in. And they were auditioning for somebody, and you had to be a certain weight, a certain height. They wanted somebody with dark hair, and they walked in, and they literally went, you.
It's all what you look like.
What we look like. And then we ended up, they wanted the main Disney character was called Kaylee, and they wanted somebody to play Kaylee at the premiere. So I went up to London, and I got picked for that, and I got paid, and I think it was something like £100 a week or something, and I thought I was so rich, because I had no money at drama school. You know, I was working in a bar, I was working at the body shop, I did all these, working as an orange, dressed as a chicken.
Of course, standard life. Yeah.
All the crazy things you do just to earn money. And did that when I was at drama school, and then left with no agent, which you know is quite unusual, because you normally leave with an agent, and
Katie and I were having this chat as well. She said, I made it my mission, I had to leave drama school with an agent.
It's so hard.
Yeah. And I said, do you think it's harder these days to get an agent than it was then? Or do you think it's just the same?
It's exactly the same.
Same, yeah.
And I think it just depends, like graduates, if there's any graduates listening to this, or people that are in their final year, it's so important what pieces you pick.
Yeah.
Because if they have seen you in a show that markets you really, really well, then that's great. But if you're in a character that's not really showing you off, which I felt happened in Into the Woods, I wasn't really a Cinderella. I should have been played Little Red Riding Hood. They cast me not really great. So left college with no agent, was in a little place by myself in Guildford, and, you know, working at body shop and thinking this could be my lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then I managed to get they used to call it Sunday night at the London Palladium.
Yeah.
And they auditioned it. It was just in the stage newspaper. Those of you who are performing arts people, you know, you'd open the stage newspaper on a Thursday, used to come out, and all your auditions would be in there. And they were auditioning for this like concert called Sunday Night at the Palladium. So I went along, and they picked me to do it. And I came out and did the show at the Palladium on the Sunday, and I came out with 7 agents.
Wow. And what, the Sunday Night at the Palladium? Yeah. Was that, like, did you audition? Did you go into rehearsals for that?
Yeah.
And it was like, who was it run by?
God, I can't even remember. It was so long ago.
Was it Sunday Night at the Palladium or Sunday Night Live, or was it TX? I remember doing something similar. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I can't remember what the company was called, but there was quite a few companies around the time that were doing something quite similar.
I did something like that.
Did you?
Weirdly enough, I did something like that because obviously I was Katie the gymnast trying to get a performing arts role, and I remember training. Funny enough, we were talking about Barnet and different areas up North London before we started. It was in Barnet, and every Sunday for 6 weeks I had to go and train and perform, and we'd put together this routine, and the whole premise of it was,
giving people the chance to get into the West End and maybe get exposed. I mean, I never got picked, but I remember doing a bit of singing. I was chorus because I can't sing, but I was doing the dance. I remember learning some dancing.
Yeah, I mean,
It sounds similar.
Yeah, it does sound very
Okay,
similar.
but that was an interesting time.
There was quite a few of those that just started to kind of happen.
Okay, so
then.
it was not, yeah.
So it probably was
Similar. Okay, cool. Learn
and
a new thing every day about you. It's amazing.
Yeah, that may have been another thing that we have in common.
Yeah,
we may have even been in the same show. You never know. But yeah, left there and obviously had these agents and was like, oh my god.
Funny enough, sorry to
No,
cut in there. Funny enough, one of our clients that came to us said to me when she had a first introductory call with me, she said, I know you from somewhere. And then she went, I know. It was from Sunday Night Live or what it was. And she then screenshot a picture and I'm sitting next to her. Weird. How
Oh,
weird's
that's
that?
really weird.
I know. She was like, I know. And she knew me. And I was like, I couldn't place her. Man, I'm like, and she was like, no, Sunday Night Live. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. God, that feels like a lifetime ago.
So did you do it?
Yeah, I did the Sunday Night Live. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's funny. But she said, no, I was next to you. And she sent me a picture. I was like, oh my God, I remember this picture. And I remember who you are
We'll
now.
have to look and see what time frame it is.
We
'cause
must
see if
do, yeah,
did-
there
if
we
we
go.
did it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you went on to, so what was then your next big breaks?
So then I got my agent and I was with her for literally a month and she made me cut all my hair off.
Right.
I was mortified.
Yeah.
Honestly, I looked like, I don't know. I looked like a trucker. Like she made me cut all my hair in a bob.
Well, okay.
And
But it suited you though.
do you know what? She was absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because I was right for period shows.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I was right for your Oklahomas and your carousels and all those kind of old musicals.
You'd look great in Downton Abbey.
Yeah. So she made me cut all my hair off, and which my mum and dad hated. And I had 6 loads of photos done. Honestly, she was a nightmare. Oh no, that load of photos isn't good. That's not good. Anyway, she finally got this one photo that was good, and then sent me up for 42nd Street, which I then went to Pineapple Studios for the auditions. Was there for 8 hours.
Pineapple Studio, yeah.
Those are the days of 8 hours auditions. Started the morning with something like 2,500 girls.
In those days now, you just think surely they don't do it like that anymore.
I
Or
think
to a degree,
I think
open
auditions
days
are. I
they
mean,
do.
this wasn't an open audition. This was a closed one. But even
a lot, isn't it?
then, there was still like a few
Mhm.
thousand girls there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And then they got whittled down, and then there was 2 of us.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
there was just me and this other girl
Yeah.
who's gone on to do very good things actually,
Yeah.
Laura Pulver.
Yeah.
And they just said, look, we can't decide. Shelley's got the singing voice.
Yeah.
Laura's got the dancing.
Yeah.
If we could combine you both,
you'd
be perfect.
Yeah.
But we can't.
Yeah.
So we basically both got told, because Laura had just left drama school, she just left Birds, I just left GSA, and they said to us, you both got in the show, but we just don't know where we're going to put you yet. One of you would be playing the lead.
So it wasn't auditioning for nothing. You've got in.
One of you, you're in the show. One of you's going to be covering one of you,
Mhm.
and the other one's going to be in the chorus.
Yeah.
So anyway, I didn't get it. She did. I ended up covering it for about 6 months, and there was a really tricky lift that many of you who are performing arts will know in the 42nd Street Ballet, where they Billy Lawler lifts up Peggy, and it's a twist, and the leg goes round and then is caught like in an arabesque. And I saw it happen, bless her, and she went up and her hip just didn't go. And so he was standing there. I can't even remember who was playing Billy Lawler now. But as he took her up, he went to take her hip round, and I just heard it in the wings. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, she struggled to carry on, and she did. She finished that number. And that was a matinee, and then in the afternoon we were in Oxford. Because it was a tour, so it was a year's tour. And in that afternoon, no, it wasn't. It was in Hull. And I got a phone call that afternoon saying, you're going on tonight.
Wonderful place.
And yeah. Really lovely. Yeah. And my digs was disgusting. So I was really glad to be in rehearsals more. And they phoned me and said, look, you're on. Obviously, Hull was miles away from home, so none of my family could come and see it. But then she was out for about 4 months.
Oh, so...
Yeah, she was out for ages.
Good for you, not good
Great
for her.
for me.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I'd had a conversation with my agent the night before, and she was like a real old school agent, June. She's bless her, she's passed away now, but she was like, have you not been on that stage yet? There's that lead role. What's going on? And I was like, oh, sorry, June. No, not yet. She went, I'm going to get a banana skin. I'm going to throw it down and get
I
her
can
off.
imagine. Yeah, you.
She's just mad, like bonkers.
For some reason, when I think of agents like that, I think of them with like a cigarette in hand.
Oh, that was so her.
Long, that big curly hair, like, you know.
She used to have a typewriter and everything was typed, you know, like so old school. And I'd had that conversation with her the night before, and then obviously went on the next day. So I think June was like trying to, I don't know what had happened, but it was a bit weird. Like the gods were
for a reason.
The gods were on my side.
Yeah.
And then the following week we were in Oxford, and all my family came.
Lovely.
All my family came, which was just such a career highlight.
Of course, yeah, that is.
You know, you're playing the lead in a show that's just such an amazing show.
Yeah.
And you're singing, and tapping was always my thing. Like I was a really good tapper at GSA.
So amazing.
So like you're doing the things that you love.
You must send me some of these videos. Well,
the thing is,
the video to CD to online, like that's the thing. It's like getting them off of all the old stuff,
on the old VHSs. Then you didn't really have them, and
it's sad, really, isn't it? Because I think that about my gymnastic videos. Like I've got them all on a CD, but I've got to get them off a CD.
Yeah,
and it's like now it's. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean your competitions and stuff must have been amazing to like see those.
So what a career highlight. So what happened next after?
So then that I was very lucky.
Because you're mega high, that's a big achievement.
Mega high, really lucky.
Yeah.
The Andrew O'Connor, who was directing it, was then directing another show for a year called Anything Goes.
Yeah. So into that you go.
Said to me, Shelley, don't say anything, come to the auditions, but I want you to play this character.
Yeah.
So I went in, and it was a really like squeaky gangster's mole, really dippy, and she kind of talked like that, and it was like really mad. But I really loved playing it. It was
You're
so
fun.
Shy,
Shelley. You're so shy. She's I love this. I love all these accents. Do you know what? We're just going to do an episode on accents.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So then I did that for a year, and then that year that I was in Anything Goes, we opened at the Belfast Opera House.
Mm-hmm.
Director of the Belfast Opera House saw Anything Goes, who then offered me panto.
That's the thing. Once you get in,
once
you get in, boom, 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 boom. It's just getting in.
Yeah. So then I did panto, which then, I mean, pantos then went on for a lot longer. But the Belfast panto, everyone wanted to get in because you started rehearsals in the October. Anything Goes finished the week of the panto audition rehearsals. So I was doing rehearsals for Anything Goes. Sorry, performances for Anything Goes in the evening, rehearsing panto in the day, and then I did that panto right through till the March.
Yeah.
Finished like the 31st of February, and it was grand a week then, and that's 20 odd years ago. So I basically saved my money for my first house in that job.
Amazing.
Just in that panto. Yeah. In 42nd Street, I blew the entire lot on shoes and handbags.
Okay, well,
the lot.
Doesn't sound like it. You should see Shelley's shoes that she's come in with and her glittery tights. She looks fabulous.
Oh, bless you. And then I had 6 months out of work.
Okay, so
this is what happened.
That's the thing.
So I
bet you'd wish you'd known all the things I teach you now in gold medal, like in
oh my God,
emergency account.
Yeah,
set this up, set that up,
and also just from a marketing point of view, like you're the market.
You are. Well, thing is though, you'd never ever. You're not thinking like a business person because you're not.
No,
you're thinking job to job. I'm employed, but you have to, like you said, nowadays it's more because they're your personality. You're building a social brand. That is your brand on Instagram or whatever. It's different. But different. You weren't taught like that.
No, you weren't. Absolutely.
Even as gymnasts, I could have marketed myself if I could. I see the gymnasts now. I mean, I retired at 22, 23. But I see the gymnasts now marketing themselves from like 14, 15. And I'm like, but it was different times.
We weren't taught that.
We didn't have it. We didn't have social.
We didn't have social media.
It's different. It was so
very,
you
very
can't
different.
even compare it. Like it's so different.
And no agent, no job. Basically, that was what it was like then. So 6 months, had no work, did the most horrific job selling wills in the middle of the high street, and I did it for 6 months, and it killed me.
How did you keep a straight face to that? Like that is a real sensitive topic. Like
hello there, have you written a wheel before? Hello there, have you written a wheel before? Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. And it was target driven. So I was determined to get that bonus at the end of the month, at the end of the week, because I'm not standing here freezing off my God knows what to not get my go. So I was very target driven even then.
Yes, yeah.
So that's quite interesting that that's been taken.
Yeah,
that
of course.
part of
It's
me.
always part of you. I
Yeah,
think it's always part of you.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So yeah, I did that, and
Like we
then
say, there's certain things you can teach. You can't teach that. It's either in you. That graft is either
yeah,
in
that
you or
kind of.
it's
It's
not.
funny actually. I was having this conversation with my husband last night about drive.
Mhm.
And you know, Rob would, as an amazing person as he is, he's not naturally driven.
Mhm.
But he was saying to me last night, "Oh, I'm waking up thinking about work, and I've got to get up early."
Oh, wicked.
And he
Yes.
said,
And he's not.
"Do you know
yeah,
what?" He
yeah.
said, "It's really interesting. Your drive
It's yeah.
has come out
Yeah.
in me. You know."
Andre said the same about me to him. Sometimes it must drive me
So,
bananas.
oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, he said the same. I definitely make him
I
more
think that's
driven.
why it works. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that kind
You
of yin
can't
and
have.
yang.
Yeah, one of my ex-boyfriends was like me. Didn't make anything happen because he's all over the place. But he was like, let's do this, let's do that. Two of us together like that. Nuts.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Banging head. So you need a
Yeah.
balance.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So then, kind of got to like 28. I then did Carousel. I did Oliver twice. There wasn't a part I didn't play in Oliver. Literally
Bill Sykes?
played everything apart from the dog.
Bill Sykes?
I didn't play Bill
You did?
Sykes. I was very skinny and tiny then. I definitely couldn't have played
Yeah.
Bill Sykes. But yeah, I mean, honestly, loads of different dance tracks I went on. I played Bet. I covered Nancy one night, and I definitely wasn't a Nancy. I covered loads of different
And do
characters.
they train you? I'm always fascinated by this. Are you trained in every role? In case, just because like you just said, you've obviously you know your role that you're actually paid for and on contract for.
Yeah.
But are you taught? You saying like is
It
your
depends.
contract
So
like?
yeah, so for 42nd Street, it was. I actually was playing. You know, I was in the chorus.
Yeah.
And then at first cover
Mhm.
Peggy, and then there was a second cover Peggy and a third cover Peggy.
Yeah.
So you know, if Lara was off, then I would go on. But if Lara was off and I was off,
Mhm.
then the second cover would go on like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for Oliver, I was second cover Nancy, first cover Bet, and then I one night, honestly, how mad is this? There's the strawberry the scene where you sing "Who will buy my sweet red roses," and they've got all the you know
Yeah.
the milk and all of that. We had no milk cellar, we had no strawberry cellar, and we had the roses. And I was trying to do all three parts at the same time.
Just
It
a
was
milk, just
mad.
a roses.
Yeah.
What do you want? Yeah.
It's like half of our cast got food poisoning. We'd all been out for an
Jeez.
Indian the night before.
Oh my goodness! But that
And-
why did you do it?
Oh my
Yeah.
god! So yeah, that was a really fun night, as you can imagine, trying to do three
But
part
but as
harmonies.
an audience, you don't see.
don't
and
know.
You wouldn't have a clue of what's going on unless you've seen the show multiple times and you're like, hang on a minute, they're down to one here.
And even now, as somebody who's obviously very experienced in watching shows and stuff like that, you know, quite often I'll go and see a friend in a show and they'll be like, "Oh, it was a bloody awful show tonight. This happened," and so
you
and
wouldn't
didn't
know.
even notice.
Wouldn't know.
Didn't notice.
Yeah,
didn't
so
see
good.
it.
So good. So, what would you say was if you could pick one career highlight before we move on to business? Is there one that you're like, that was the
There's
best?
so many for different reasons.
I know it's hard, but is
I
there
mean,
anyone?
Carousel I loved because I think with Anything Goes in 42nd Street, I had to be so careful of my voice.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go out partying every night with
Okay.
everybody else because, you know, if I had to go on for Peggy, it's
Yeah, you
quite, you
can't-
know,
yeah.
you've got to sing.
Yeah.
For Anything Goes, because it was such a high speaking, like,
Yeah.
that kind of character. And I had a big number at the end of the act 2, which was a big production number. I couldn't be going out with the chorus
Yeah,
drinking
yeah.
every night. I couldn't. So
Yeah.
I was very, very disciplined like that.
Yeah.
But then I also did plays. I did Stepping Out, as in the play Stepping Out in Pitlochry. And
Is that where Stepping Out came from?
no, Stepping Out actually came from my ex-husband.
Okay.
When
I
we
thought that came from there.
Yeah, no, because
Yeah.
the play Stepping Out,
Yeah.
that I did that in
Yeah,
Pitlochry, but
yeah.
no, it wasn't. So yeah, I did loads of plays, and then kind of did Oliver again, and then I remember going up for my final auditions for Belle for Beauty and the Beast for the final,
Stunning. Yeah.
Cosette in Les Mis, and Lena Lamont in Singing in the Rain. Final auditions down to the last 2 for every single one of them. Didn't get one, and I walked out.
Do you know
and
why?
That's it.
Do you know why?
Don't you just?
And
This
that-
is the thing.
And that is hard, isn't it? When you've been not top dog, but when you've been getting them, it's like competing when you suddenly
Yeah.
are first. And that's how I knew I was ready to retire, because I started coming second. And I went,
Right,
do you know
yeah.
what? I want to go out on a high. And I won the British Championships, and I came out and I went, done.
I'm done.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
I walked in the gym and was like, done, don't do it. Got no interest in being here on a Sunday afternoon anymore. I'm done. And it's exactly the same performing. You've gone from
Yeah.
winning and you think, why am I going to train my ass up again?
push myself to get back to number. You've got to have another kind of drive to want to do that. But
and I think
it's the
there's
same.
no, particularly with performing arts, there's no career progression.
Yeah.
So, you know, I played a lead and then I was back in the chorus, and then I'd, you know, be playing a really good part in a play, which was really rewarding from an acting point of view, and I loved my acting. But then I really missed my singing and dancing. And you get to 28, 29, and you know that you are not going to be dancing for much longer.
Yeah. You've got your 18-year-olds.
You've got to think of something else. Yeah, and you're going in, and you know their legs are going behind them. And then we were also of the generation where you didn't do flips and stuff. I mean, I can't bloody backflip. Love
but
my
that
money.
was
But
a part of
you
it.
know, then it was your gymnasts, you know, like yourself, and your dancers and your singers, and it was all very much fragmented. Whereas now, like the kids that are coming out of college can do everything. You know, like
they need to be. It's different times, isn't it? They have to be able to do.
Yeah. So there was quite a few career highlights, but I think you know, like just there's so many that, you know, it was a lovely time, and I wouldn't change it. I think if I had my time over again, I wouldn't have given up so early.
Interesting. And what age did you say I gave up?
I was 29.
You were 29.
And you know what? I think as a female, you get to that. Oh my God.
Yeah, you do. I say, did you have another 5 years in you? Do you think?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
You had, and I knew. In fact, actually, after COVID, I got all my headshots done, and I was going back, and then COVID hit.
Oh,
yeah.
There's still time left, Shell.
Not to maybe sing and not to dance. You've got
time on
but
your side.
to maybe do acting.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think you should.
I think I'm done now.
So obviously, from such an amazing career in performing, what was the idea for stepping? Like, let's go into, because I know stepping out didn't come first. Talk through the stepping stones of the next step from performing's out there. I now need to make money. What's next?
Yeah. So I thought I need to be able to do something that my knees are not going to be maybe quite as bad at.
Yeah.
But before stepping out, actually came a 2.5-year career in fitness.
Yeah.
So I obviously love the microphone.
Yeah.
So the fact that you could have a microphone at the front of the stage,
did your knees not hurt?
Oh, my knees weren't too bad then.
Yeah, because
they were bad, but they weren't that bad. Yeah. But teaching like 40, you know, I do 15 spinning classes a week, 10 body pumps, 6 aquas. It was ridiculous. Yeah. So I kind of went into the teaching, and weirdly enough, I was playing Cinderella in Poole that Christmas.
Yeah.
And all the cast were going back for auditions, and I was going back for fitness manager jobs.
Yeah,
which was really weird. And they were like,
"Here
why are you going up for this? This is mad," you know. So actually, I remember going for my first interview. Bearing in mind, I'd never had an interview ever. I'd just performed and gone in for auditions. So I went in for my first interview, and I remember them saying, "So obviously you can do Word and Excel, can't you?" And I was like, "Oh yes, yes." And I remember coming out, phoning my mum and saying, "What's Word and Excel?" I had no idea. Had no idea. So I remember going into this fitness manager job, which I was very, very underqualified for, failed miserably, really, but was actually very good with the team. So I was managing instructors. There was like a team of 60 at the Esporta I was working at the time. So I was good with the team and team morale and all that kind of side. What I wasn't very good, and I'm still not so great at, is the technical side. So, you know, like all of the spreadsheets.
But again, you don't need to be, you know, you're leaning on your strengths. You're leaning on your strengths,
and
you know. So yeah, you went into fitness, and I know I want you to kind of weave this in as we go now. In like personal life happening at these stages, because I know that's a bit colourful as well.
Yeah.
But like going into transitioning from the performing arts world, from obviously performing into fitness, trying to start your business.
Yeah.
Just touch on that a little bit.
So the main reason that I kind of came out of performing, well, one of the reasons was I was engaged to a very famous stuntman who I won't say his name because a lot of people know him, and I actually really wanted to have children, and he didn't. And it came. We had a house and everything together. We had a lovely relationship, but it got to a point where I thought I was pregnant. Had a bit of a pregnancy scare, was dancing at the time, and thought, actually, if I'm pregnant, I'm kind of done. Like, I'm happy with my career, and if I fall pregnant, it's actually okay. Weirdly enough, actually, I couldn't have children, and it took me 7 years with my husband then to have my little girl, who I now have, who's 13. But actually, at that time, I was like, oh my God, like, you don't want children, I do. Maybe we need to separate, and we did, which was very, very sad, because actually we were still very much in love.
That's a really hard decision to make, isn't it?
Really hard decision.
That's
so we ended
really
up going
hard.
back together and splitting up and getting back together. And then I was doing my fitness, and then again, in the Stage newspaper, the famous Stage newspaper, was a franchise which I won't mention.
Is that still a newspaper? I know it's online. Do they still have a newspaper?
Yeah. It's an online one now. Yeah,
It's just online.
yeah.
Okay.
But you literally would get it on a Thursday.
I remember getting it.
I'd pay for it at Smith's.
Yeah.
And you'd highlight with big red colour.
I remember doing this for the gymnastic
musicians.
bowls. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really mad.
Bad.
Yeah. So then, what happened next? Went into fitness. Came out of fitness. And decided, you know what, these knees are really not going to last much longer. I've had a career in dancing, and now I've battered them to the last final stages of like literally zero cartilage.
Yeah.
I need to do something that I can do for the rest of my life. And I really, really missed my performing roots, because as much as the teaching with the grapevines and all of that was great, I just missed what I'd learned to do.
Totally,
you know, it was like I kind of taken a bit of a sideline.
And like we always say, our majority of the time in our industries, not always, but majority of the time in our industries, you've started your business from your passion.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
you don't know what to do.
Then you're like, fiddle. I now need to. I said I started as Katie the gymnast, didn't have a clue about business. I learned as we go. Everyone does the same, but it started from that passion.
And that passion and discipline carries you through, I think. Because I think you also think, come 30, I remember going, well, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
I can't do anything else. I can sing a top C and I can do the splits, but where's that going to get me? You know, I can do a million accents, but no one cares.
Voiceover?
No one cares. You know, so I think trying to find something in that area is in an area that you're still passionate about is hard. So I found this advert for a very well known performing arts franchise, which I won't mention the name of, and actually bought a franchise, set it up from scratch. It grew incredibly quickly, was one of the top 3 of the company within the first 6 months. And I had that franchise for 5 years, and I have to be very careful what I say, really. Came out of the franchise,
it didn't go as well as you wanted.
Didn't go as well
as
I wanted.
Yeah, we don't want to slag off any companies or anything like that, but yeah. Things all happen for different reasons.
And you know what? I had some really great times through that time as well. And I believe that whatever happened for a reason.
And all part of learning. I always feel like you've learned a lot from it, but they would have learned a lot from it as well.
Yeah.
Through my 18 years in business, there's relationships that did not work out.
Of course there is.
Just as well as business decisions. And you just learn each side is going to say, I wouldn't have done that again. I'd have asked that question differently. I'd have treated them differently, or this, I'd have changed that, whatever it is. You know?
Yeah.
So all for a reason.
I totally agree with that. And, there's no kind of bad vibes to them or anything like that. So I had the franchise for 5 years, worked at their head office as a choreographer for all of their they had a TUI contract, so people would go abroad and teach my choreography, and
amazing.
They do the show their
it's a
school
good
for a
contract
week
to get. That
really
is
nice contract. Yeah, and I ended up meeting 2 of my now teachers through that, which is interesting. So then after that, I had to be quite brave, because it got to a point where I had to get out of the franchise. And I saw a franchise lawyer, and he just said, how brave are you?
Yeah.
I remember him saying, and I was like, what do you mean how brave I am? And he said, do you think you could set up your own company, brand, uniform, everything within 48 hours?
I had 24 hours in my head.
Yeah. So that was the Friday. By the Monday, we had brand, we had colours, we had a logo, we had a website, we had honestly, it was mental.
And do you know what and Emily Litter and I were talking about this, of sometimes as entrepreneurs you can jump into something and be like, crap, I moved too fast, that wasn't the right decision. But then also as entrepreneurs, one of our strongest attributes is jump in, think after, because if you think too much, you're never going to do it.
Absolutely.
And there are definitely times in my career, sometimes it's bit me in the arse and I'm like, why did I do that? And sometimes I'm like, nah, that was the best decision. So you have to get on with it.
Yeah. And I had to, because actually I didn't know if any of the kids were going to come with me. I didn't know it was going to work out. At the time, I think the school had maybe about 150 kids, maybe 100, something like that.
Yeah.
And I wrote to all of them and said, because email wasn't really around then.
God, you wrote, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm like, first class post is not good enough.
I think it was maybe just starting of emails, but it wasn't like, I mean, I had a BlackBerry. That's how long ago it was.
How many years ago? When was this?
So this was 2007.
See, it's crazy, isn't it? When you think of 2007, it feels like 5 years ago, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But when you're talking like that, I'm like, what is this,
So
dinosaur
much
years?
Yeah. It's a lot's happened in that time,
Isn't it?
yeah.
Time is magical. Time is weird, isn't it? Time
Yeah.
just baffles me. So you were brave enough, you jumped in, you sought the right advice. So to our listeners, just, whenever you do anything with franchises, or you're just making sure that you're making the right decision, just make sure you get yourself the right support.
Absolutely.
And the right help, and make sure that you're doing things in the right order, because it's always thinking like, how do I want to be portrayed? Do you want to leave anything on bad terms where you can? Always just think that in everything for business. So Stepping Out was born.
Stepping Out was born.
So there we go. And 15 years ago,
Yeah.
Stepping Out was born.
Yeah.
So talk through, because then by this point you didn't have Yarns because she's 13. So
So when I actually bought
Yarns is Ayana.
Yarns is her
Shelley's
nickname, and Ayana is her name. Which means beautiful, sensitive flower. Which, if you knew Ayana, is nothing like she is.
For context, Yards is a gorgeous girl. She's 13, so there's a few challenging moments going on at the minute, being 13 and all. That's a podcast in itself.
To
manage a
how
teenager.
to manage a teenager.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'll be on that podcast. I need to start listening.
She so she was born after 7 years of trying, and me basically being told that I wouldn't have children. And I think years and years of dancing, starving myself, not eating properly, I'd ruined a lot of my insides.
Yeah.
And I also had polycystic ovaries and endometriosis. So I had an operation to remove those, and still didn't fall pregnant. And they basically said, you need to eat properly. You've got to start eating. You need to fuel your body.
Yeah.
I wasn't used to doing that. I would just, I was of the coffee and cigarette age dancer. I never smoked, but
I know. But nowadays it's very different. But those times I know. Yeah, it's same as gymnastics. It's all changed. Yeah.
Yeah, you just had a coffee and cigarette around Pineapple Studios, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
And if you didn't smoke, you've had a double coffee.
And so someone who doesn't have coffees like myself, I'd have a double hot chocolate or double smoothie or a double milkshake.
Yeah, you would, or a double Diet Coke.
Yeah, that'd be me.
It was crazy times.
Amazing. So obviously left the franchise, moved on, started your own company, had Yarns.
And got married the same year as I bought the franchise, actually. So I was married. I bought the franchise. I got married. And I moved house all the same year, which is, as you know, Katie.
And that's one of my things that I say on this podcast. There's never, whenever you're looking at mentorship, building a team, anything, there's never a right time. And Shelley's a perfect example of that, because when she first looked at Gold Medal to come into our mentorship, it was like, I've got like 3 shows. I'm getting married twice. There was 1 wedding in Portugal, 1 in the UK, to the same man, I might add, just different locations. And there was a lot going on personally and professionally. And I said, it's now or never. And I said, we had someone come to us the other day, and it was just like, I wasn't ready a year ago, but I'm never going to be ready. So now I'm ready. Shelley, you are a perfect example of that.
And I always say that to people that I coach now, that there is never a right time. There's always something.
Always.
But believe you me, it wasn't a right time when I joined Gold Medal. It really wasn't. But, it worked.
Yeah.
So, then after, so I'm trying to think, obviously tried for Ayana, ended up having to, paid for IVF, had loads of operations, and then I fell pregnant naturally. Randomly.
Meant to be. Is meant to be.
Yeah.
At the right time.
Came back, had Ayana, obviously fell pregnant, and even before I got married, I knew it wasn't right. But I just thought it's because I can't have children, and that'll cement us and it'll be fine. Anyway, it wasn't right at all. And I ended up leaving the marital home like 4 or 5 times with Ayana, as young as like 4 months, actually. And that went right through till she was nearly 3. And then I made the very brave decision. I'm not a great cook, but I just remember that pinnacle point where you go, that is it, I'm doing it, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And I made Christmas dinner, and I remember my husband coming out and saying, well, you're not going to serve that, are you? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Like when you're doing potatoes, that's how you need to do it. And when you do, and it was literally just behind me all the time. And I'm such a
Too
strong
much.
person.
Yeah,
If I
too
ever
much,
tell
too
this
much.
to
Yeah,
somebody,
yeah.
they almost don't believe me that
Mhm.
I was that controlled. But it was.
Yeah.
I was so controlled in that
And did you do the
relationship.
Christmas dinner again? Or did you
No,
redo
I
certain
can't,
things?
do you
What
know
did
what?
you
I
do?
can't even remember, but I just remember it was Boxing Day and that was the day I left.
You like stuff this, I'm not been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So you were then obviously a single mum.
in the house with him
building a business
for 9 months,
Mm.
which was the
Yeah,
worst
yeah.
entire time
Mm.
of my life
Mm.
because we were both very very similar. We're both very fiery.
Mm.
And you know, it went to court. It was just awful.
Mhm.
And I can honestly say it was the worst time of my entire life. I was trying to build Stepping Out, had Ayana who was 3.
A challenging 3-year-old.
Yeah, my husband wouldn't move out of the
Mm.
marital home, so me and Ayana moved out. To cut a very long story short, we moved house 8 times within a year. We went from a lovely, beautiful 4-bedroom, gorgeous house that was our family home to a room no bigger than this, which was like had no floor, had no carpet.
Yeah.
The toilet wasn't working properly, so they had to bring in an RV lorry so that we could use the toilet.
Oh my God.
I mean,
yeah.
Ayana then stopped going to the toilet because she's too
bless
scared
her.
to go
Bless her.
outside.
Yeah.
It was honestly rock bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like even now,
Yeah.
you can probably see
No,
I'm getting a little bit emotional.
And I've even heard this story a few times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I every time obviously it's but that's all who you are today. That made you who you are today.
Yeah.
But it's also kudos to you. Many people wouldn't leave. I mean,
Yeah.
it was, unless it's a
hard.
hugely violent relationship, it's a different story. But you could have stayed
Oh,
and
yeah.
just been put up with that. But
Yeah.
you chose, no, I'm not doing that.
I mean,
no.
we'd have conversations and he'd be like, I just don't love you anymore.
Right,
But I
yeah.
don't want you to leave.
Oh, right, okay. So
Well,
what am I here for?
You know, so I'm
Yeah.
actually like in my very, very early 30s. And actually, is this my lot?
Yeah, no, yeah.
And
And
that's
you
what I
could have
thought,
just been
this-
like, it's too
this
hard to
is
leave.
my
She's
lot.
small.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which is why I
Mhm.
think I went back and came back
Yeah.
and
Well,
back
yeah,
and forth
yeah.
for so long, you know.
Yeah.
And then met my now amazing
Mhm.
husband very shortly after.
Rob Arena. We love Rob Arena. Rob Arena's
Love
amazing.
him. Who's the most chilled person
yeah.
in the entire world.
Yeah. But it's like you were meant to meet him at the time. You were meant to meet him because, like we've talked about, if you, same with business as well, you know, when you think, oh, why did that opportunity not come to me then? Why did I make that decision then? It's like you appreciate Rob like you do now because of what you've gone
Absolutely.
through. So it's all in your journey, you know.
Yeah.
So building all through that, and you know, our listeners take inspiration from Shelley's story in terms of, like we always say, nothing's going to be perfect. She could have easily said, you know what, I can't build a business at the minute. I can't do it. It's too much brain space. I can't do it. But always think your bigger why, your bigger vision. That will be just like with Emily Little was sharing when her husband got cancer. Her thing she could control was, I'm going to jump in and build my business because he's looked after, he's recovering. I can't dwell on that at the minute. I have to focus on what I need to be doing, you know? So obviously Stepping Out is now hugely successful, 15 years in. What would you say and you can include the personal bits as well in here as well. What would you say has been your biggest, I'd say try and choose 5, your top 5 challenges on building the business?
Oh, goodness. So first of all would be...
Try and pick 5 that you think our audience, knowing obviously from your coaching experience, what people often ask you. The top
I mean,
ones.
obviously everyone says it, but COVID was tough because obviously we did it online. So, but you know, doing
boring.
Yeah,
gosh,
I mean,
yeah.
but yeah, it was mad.
Yeah.
We were going to Disneyland Paris to perform with the school.
Yeah.
And because I like Stepping Out to be inclusive, and not everybody can afford to go to Disneyland Paris, we offered all of the kids from the school and their families a chance to come and watch the show that we were doing in Disneyland for free the day before.
Yeah.
So we rock up at our venue. We've got full theatre full of people coming to watch the show. We go to Disneyland 2 days later.
Yeah.
Open the venue and it's flooded. We can't get in.
God, yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, you know, I've got all these parents coming. This is awful. Like, what are we going to do? Anyway, to cut a very, very long story short, one of my other venues was available. I managed to move within 24 hours the whole entire show to the other venue, and we performed it the next day.
That's impressive. Yeah.
And you know what? I think parents were so humbled by what we've done,
Mm.
I think I got a few more. I think parents just thought, maybe saw a different side to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think, like we were talking about this earlier, you know, without recording, you know, that people will often see the happy, bubbly, successful Shelley.
Yeah.
They haven't seen the Shelley sitting in a, you know, with no toilet and, you know, having a child taking her outside because she can't go to the toilet properly because she's too scared to go in the toilet that's outside because you haven't got a toilet in your home.
Yeah.
You know, they're not seeing the Shelley who, you know, in all businesses has sat there going, why the hell am I doing this?
Yeah, I've had many
You know,
minutes like that.
This is the worst, you know. And those of you who run performing arts businesses, you know, show week, and you're like, why the hell am I doing this?
Yeah.
You know, and the years of not making any money from my shows as well, you know,
which are now hugely profitable for you.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So two other, I'm just thinking, because I'm going to get you on another round on this, Shelley. I think we'll do a part 2 on this because there's more that I want to cover. So yeah, I mean, shifting venues, that's a huge thing. 2 other things that you know our audience would love to hear in terms of challenges that you've gone through in 15 years.
The team that you set off with is never the team that you're going to have.
My team is completely different.
Oh, so's mine.
Completely different.
And also the kids there as well. So you think, I actually found a Disney picture, funnily enough, only yesterday, of my first lot of kids that went to Disneyland. And this will be our 4th time in February 2026.
Yeah.
And not one of those kids is still with us.
Yeah.
You know, so actually I think you think that those kids will stay with you forever and ever and ever, but they don't. They move on, they go to other theatre schools, they then come back and then go, I made a mistake, or they go to another theatre school and they don't come back, or they go, do you know what, I want to do horse riding, or, you know, so I think those challenges in terms of being a little bit, not taking it to heart so much is hard, because maybe more so in our industry than perhaps gymnastics, we have kids that are, we've got 2 of our kids now who've been with us for 15 years, you know, so you don't just become a dance teacher or a principal that these kids just go to. You become somebody that they rely on, that they can go to and speak to if there's a problem. They, you know, so that, I would say that is definitely you know, a challenge to, you know, to think in the early days, thinking my team will be with me forever, and so will these kids. No, they won't.
I've even got team members, you know, and it sounds awful when you say this, but I've got team members 18 years on that I look back at old pictures, I can't even remember their name.
Yeah,
it's awful, isn't it?
No,
when you think about it, but I think because your team's growing so much, you can't. I'm like, I don't even know their name. So what would you say, Shell, has been like business wise the lowest of the low in your business and the highest of the high?
2 lowest of lows.
Yeah.
Getting a 60 grand tax bill and having 15,000 saved because my accountant was so badly prepared.
Yeah.
And that's fairly recently. That's only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And
I remember us navigating that through.
Yeah.
And what we did for that, for advice on this, is we did shift accountants.
Yeah.
We remodeled the business. And again, if Shelley hadn't been part of our gold medal mentorship, that would have looked very different.
Yeah, it would have done. It really would have done.
With coaching, and your network is so powerful. Building a strong network.
It's not just about the one-to-one stuff that obviously we had to navigate going through, you know, VAT returns and everything else, but it's about showing up in a community each week where you're not going to be judged and just going,
here it is. Yeah, I'm going to cry, I'm going to laugh. You know, you name
and there
it.
were times where, you know, I sobbed on those calls.
Yeah.
And there was other times where I roared with laughter, you know.
So it's having that safe space.
Yeah, and I think it's maybe celebrating the wins as much as the low points.
Yeah.
And I think the other low point was definitely the transition from the franchise into my own company. That was very tough.
Yeah, no,
very,
I can
very
imagine.
tough.
It's always, Okay, 2 highs. I know it's hard for 2.
Seeing my kids perform at Wembley Arena.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they did the Saracens v Harlequin rugby and they performed at half time. I think that has got to be one.
When was that?
7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
Amazing. And probably seeing, well, I mean, there's been multiple children that have been in West End shows. I've been very lucky that I've managed to get a lot of my kids in there. But one of my little boys, Oliver Benson, played the little boy in The Snowman.
Oh, I remember that. And I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, and when the snow came down at the end and he was just, I was,
Oh my
cry. My
gosh,
It's
yes,
amazing.
yeah.
So, but there's been a lot of kids. Oh, it's just so lovely. It's so beautiful. I love that
Yeah.
anyway. I took Ayana when she was 3, and she just was literally just mesmerised by it.
Yeah.
And then obviously took her again to see Oliver a few years later. But no, I think seeing any child in a West End show like that is amazing.
Yeah.
And then, I'm just going to literally give you one more.
I say it was so hard to keep to two,
my
especially
other
when you've been in
one-
business 15 years.
Yeah, my other one has got to be one of our students who's currently with us, called Arav, and I know the parents won't mind me talking about him, who came to us, no confidence, completely non-verbal, very highly autistic.
Wow.
And she tried loads of other theatre schools and they wouldn't take him. And I just said, look, we're not a SEND specialist school, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And I think maybe
She'd
he'll
appreciated that as well.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, because I was honest and said, we're not SEND specialists, we're not.
Yeah.
But we are an inclusive school, and
Yeah.
if we think that we can do something to help your child, then we will.
Yeah.
But we may need to get somebody else in because that's not our area, you
Yeah.
know. So actually, what we did is we found an agency that deal with children that help children with autism and in performing arts. And so this agency were fantastic. Arav can come in every week. He has a one-to-one with Amrit, the lovely assistant that he has, and he comes in and it's just like he's been with us for years. And it's lovely. And he now can speak a few words now, and he comes in and he says, Shelley, and
Excellent.
hi,
So good.
hello.
Yeah,
and it's like so, and he'll give me a high five, and some weeks he'll come in and just look at me as if to say, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
And then other weeks he'll come in
But
and give
just
me a
think
big
where
hug,
that child will be in 2 years' time if he sticks with you.
the parents
That's
just
what I mean.
so grateful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those things. And I think another high actually was getting my patrons, because that's a big thing about our school, is that we've got quite famous patrons. So just to being a little independent school that nobody knew of, to get people of really high caliber involved in our school, I think that had to be another high as well.
Huge.
So, yeah.
Huge. Oh, we could. We're gonna do another. We're gonna do a part 2.
We haven't spoken about gold medal
for sure. Yeah, we are gonna do a part 2. I think you'll be on, and I'm gonna get obviously Amy, our wonderful Amy, can't be with us. One of our other coaches because she's in the States, so we won't be in person. But I'll definitely get you on for another podcast to talk about the next transition. I think there's probably a part 3 as well coming. I think we need you part 1, part 2, part 3. But this is all the good things of when you've got such a strong performing arts background, and a very strong business background, and now a strong there's 3 parts to your journey. It's really hard to cover it in an hour.
No, it is because
Really
the mentorship actually came very, very late, because in years of running my business, I didn't ever have a business mentor or somebody to offload to, or somebody to go, do you know what, you need to rein that in. I wouldn't send that email straight away. All those kind of things that I've learned during mentorship. And the mentorship's been so powerful for me. Not just, I know you've said it, but not just for me in terms of my business, but in terms of the people that I surround myself with now, the people that I have culled out of my life that I have nothing to do with, that just were bringing such negativity. The people that I'm around now, the people that I speak to on a daily basis, are good, uplifting people. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't speak to you every day. But we
love a voice note.
We love a voice note.
Never speak on the phone, though, because I've got with 3 young children and a teenager. With Shelley, it doesn't happen.
But yeah, we have a voice note at least 6 times a day.
There's a voice note here or there. Yeah. But no, we will definitely do. We will 100% do a part 2 to this and a part 3, guys. So do not worry. Well, thank you. A joy as always, Shellerina.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome, and I hope you've got so much knowledge from that. And it's I think the big thing to take from Shelley's story is never a right time. Take yourself out of situations that are not valuing you. Just jump in and run with it, and know that you can make it happen, rain or shine. Literally,
and making sure that you get, particularly in some of the things that I mentioned, making sure you get good legal advice. I think
making sure
really
you have the right support,
important
which
as well.
always comes around teams, building your right team.
Yeah.
So there we go, my friend. Love you lots, and that's a wrap.